The crew went through the preparation process. They reported we were ready. I had a tracking station make sure that all of the safety criteria had been met, and this was now okay to open up the hatch.
Miles per hour, 200 miles above the Earth.
Okay, I'm out.
Background, you can tell it's just a background that's been placed there. I don't know what this is meant to be. Is this the Van Allen belt? Well, what is that? Is that meant to be where the atmosphere ends? Why are these clouds not moving? Why is none of the lights flickering? What is up with these thunders? What, does thunder strike the same place multiple times? Like this? You see it, there was one bit where you see two hitting the exact same place. Anyway, so yeah, this was my 2 cents. This is look, I think that was the sun that got smaller there.
Things start to take a somewhat sinister turn. Look closely at the repeating cloud pattern. Here we can see clear examples that the photograph has not only been doctored or constructed, but also strong evidence that whoever done the doctoring used repeating photographic templates. That is, they cloned parts of the image and repeated it. That is, the photograph is a construction. This does not happen in nature. Clouds do not repeat in the same pattern like this. The chances of this happening in the same photograph are low. The only way this could happen is if someone has cloned clouds.
If you were to go to NASA and download one of their photos of the Earth in the moon's sky and put it in Photoshop, okay, drop the saturation and the levels down, you'll see that the Earth has been pasted in, because you'll see a rectangular box around the Earth. It's all fraud, it's all fake. Pretty much everything NASA puts out is fraudulent.
Okay, this is the south pole. Now activate the grid so you know exactly where it is. There it is. Okay, now if you really zoom in here and remove the grid, now this doesn't look like a normal image of anything. Now imagine this type of image over New York City or Manhattan. It would look really weird, ridiculous. It's like all these stripes here is smudged out and stretched out or stretched in towards this supposed center,
and painted them on. This of course could be for a number of reasons. You could argue that NASA simply touched up the photograph for effect, or that it was a problem with the imaging systems that were used.
Hello. Been here once before. Hello. Been here once before.
Houston, we have a problem.
Space may be the final frontier, but it's made in a Hollywood basement. Space may be the final frontier, but it's made in a Hollywood basement. Space may be the final frontier, but it's made in a Hollywood basement. Space may be the final frontier, but it's made in a Hollywood basement.
Have you ever dreamed of going up to outer space? Or maybe meeting other beings from another place? Have you ever wondered what it's like on other planets? Then you watch a science show and come to believe you understand it? You feel empowered by the knowledge and you feel enlightened, listening to Bill Nye and Neil deGrasse Tyson. But then you wake up and you start to see the obvious. Life is just a lie and this whole world ain't what we thought it was.
We can see the celestial bodies far closer and with far more clarity than Galileo could have ever hoped for. A 2016 Nikon P900 has 83 times optical zoom and 332 times digital capabilities, which put Galilean telescopes to shame. Yet, even with this level of magnification, Galileo's alleged invisible stars orbiting Jupiter are nowhere to be found. Galileo and his fellow Mason predecessors, acting more like true believers of their heliocentric faith than legitimate scientists, were constantly guilty of inventing elaborate theories to support their foregone conclusion.
First it expands, then it collapses. And this collapse happens so violently that vapor molecules trapped inside the bubble slam together and heat up so much that the bubble gives off an incredible burst of heat and light, several thousand times a second, giving the appearance of a star.
This is for the skeptics. Actual proof that they use wires.
You look like you're in a
Check
studio,
this out.
maybe in Omaha, Nebraska or something. The shot is so clear. Is this a hoax? Are you really in space still?
Yeah, because the air proves that you're in space.
I don't know, we're going to have to
check
do
this.
something for
Check
you.
the man with a stripy top. Look, he grabs the wire above him. Now check the man on the right. With his right arm, he grabs the wire. Did you see it? Now check in slow motion. The man on the right, look at his right arm. He's grabbing him to stabilise him. Then look at the man behind him with the stripy top on. Now he's looking up and he's grabbing the wire. Look, he's looking for the wire to grab it. Yeah. Check that out. He's grabbing the wire there. Look, he's looking up because he sees the wire moving about and he's grabbing it to stabilise it. Look. Now check the man on the right with the USMC t-shirt. Check his arm. Watch this. Check his arm. Look, his arm goes to grab him. Look. But he doesn't grab him, he grabs the wire. Look, there's nothing there, but he's grabbing something and it's tugging his trousers up. And then check him on the left. He looks down to see. Look, he's checking it out himself. Yeah? You wanted proof, you've just got proof there. If you don't accept this, then you are just absolutely brainwashed. This is absolute proof that they are using wires on the space station, or the fake space station. You've just been busted, guys. Busted wide open. Your hoax has been exposed. You deceiving little snakes. Fuck you all, you satanic pricks.
They just can't bring themselves to face the possibility that the Earth is stationary, though all the evidence shows it. We feel no movement. The atmosphere hasn't been blown away. We see the sun move from east to west. Everything can be explained by a motionless Earth without bringing in all these assumptions to cover up previous assumptions gone bad. If the Earth were truly a spinning ball orbiting the sun, there are several tests and experiments which could be and have been conducted to prove or disprove the veracity of such a claim. Why in the name of common sense should observers have to fix their telescopes on solid stone bases so that they should not move a hair's breadth if the earth on which they fix them moves at the rate of 19 miles in a second, into blindly believing a maleficent myth?
In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. And the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. And the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. And God said, "Let there be light." And there was light. And God saw the light that it was good. And God divided the light from the darkness. And God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And the evening and the morning were the first day. And God said, "Let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters." And God made the firmament, and divided the waters which were under the firmament from the waters which were above the firmament. And it was so. And God called the firmament heaven. And the evening and the morning were the second day. And God said, "Let the waters under the heaven be gathered together unto one place, and let the dry land appear." And it was so. And God called the dry land earth, the gathering together of the waters called he seas. And God saw that it was good.
Hast thou with him spread out the sky, which is strong, and as a molten looking glass, and as a molten looking glass?
Where they found this, and this is called the Sky Stone. Now, this is insane. I am almost positive, and I think they are too, they just don't want to say it, that this thing is a literal piece of the firmament. This rock is made up of 77.17%. Notice the 3 sevens. 77.17% oxygen. And when they crushed this up to put it underneath the microscope, they could no longer see it. It lost its color.
Glass.
And God said, "Let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and years, and let them be for lights in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth." And it was so. And God made 2 great lights, the greater light to rule the day, and the lesser light to rule the night. He made the stars also. And God set them in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth, and to rule over the day and over the night, and to divide the light from the darkness. And God saw that it was good. And the evening and the morning were the 4th day. And God said, "Let there be lights in the firmament of the heavens, in the firmament of the heavens, in the firmament of the heavens, in the firmament of the heavens." Then spake Joshua to the Lord in the day when the Lord delivered up the Amorites before the children of Israel. And he said in the sight of Israel, Sun, stand thou still upon Gibeon, and thou moon in the valley of Ajalon. And the sun stood still, and the moon stayed, until the people had avenged themselves upon their enemies. Is not this written in the book of Jasher? So the sun stood still in the midst of heaven, and hasted not to go down about a whole day. Fear before him all the earth. The world also shall be stable, that it be not moved. The Lord reigneth, he is clothed with majesty. The Lord is clothed with strength, wherewith he hath girded himself. The world also is established, that it cannot be moved. Say among the heathen that the Lord reigneth. The world also shall be established, that it shall not be moved. He shall judge the people righteously. It is he that sitteth upon the circle of the earth, and the inhabitants thereof are as grasshoppers, that stretcheth out the heavens as a curtain, and spreadeth them out as a tent to dwell in. It is he that sitteth upon the circle of the earth, and the inhabitants thereof are as grasshoppers, that stretcheth out the heavens as a curtain, and spreadeth them out as a tent to dwell in. For he looketh to the ends of the earth, and seeth under the whole heaven.
The city was laid out like a square, as long as it was wide. And that's why you see her in these concepts that they devise for these celebrities. They don't just pull them out of thin air. There's always a backstory. Again, this is heaven, which is a cube, and the broken glass, which is all symbolizes basically an astronaut breaking through the glass, getting to heaven, which is supposed space. Always, again, hidden meanings. The people that don't understand the occult will never get it. Again, they just think this is all random and just thrown together when it's not.
You want answers! I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!
already the sun sets.
Hello, it's me. You know, indoctrination started while we were still naive, programming our beliefs. And that inertia is the reason we don't feel the earth spinning. Hello, can you hear me? Did you ever stop to question the confession of gravity as a theory? Funny thing, force alone can be explained with buoyancy and density. The sun is closer than what they've told us, not 90 million miles away. Hello from the inside. I'm here to tell you not to lie. And there never was a space probe, and those planets you've left so wandering stars. Operation Fishbowl. Hello, how are you? Did you get a chance to join Flat Earth and Globe discussion group to discover all the truth? How the sun, the moon, the stars are all revolving around you. There's no more secret. The earth is stationary, it is fixed, unmovable. Hello from the brighter side. They fooled you with that CGI. While sending rockets into the sea and then
In this picture, you can see that the two couple are dancing, and as you can see from the right side, you can see the Twin Tower up in smoke. Yeah, that's so creepy. That's why I don't watch The Simpsons, because they are part of the Illuminati, in which they brainwash you by watching movies, cartoons, music, pictures and other stuff that have Illuminati stuff. Let's go to one more picture. In this last picture, you can see that Lisa Simpson is holding a magazine saying, New York $911. Well, guess what? You see on the magazine picture that the two Twin Towers are up in smoke.
The pitcher, steroid Santa Claus, kicks and deals. It's a long fly ball going back, and the ball shatters the sky, bringing the ocean itself down into the stadium. Oh, Simpson just broke this dream's reality wide open.
If you look at the logo for the Scientific Committee on Antarctic Research, SCAR, you see how they have the Antarctic continent in blue, with white surrounding the blue. So if you look at the negative space, this almost looks like an ice wall surrounding a pond of ocean. So they kind of hide these things right in plain sight, right in front of our faces.
Where were you when I laid the foundations of the earth? Tell me, if you have understanding. Who determined its measurements? Surely you know. Or who stretched the line upon it? To what were its foundations fastened? Or who laid its cornerstone when the...
Chapter 66. Thus saith the Lord, The heaven is my throne, and the earth is my footstool. Where is the house that ye build unto me? And tremble before him all the earth. The world is firmly established, it cannot be moved.
Greatest cover-up of all time.
Launched on journeys to the edge of space. The data gathering and scientific experiments they carry out can be accomplished at a fraction of the cost of rockets and space shuttle launches.
A lot of people think that what we do has to do with forecasting the weather.
Weather forecasting, it's not. Although weather monitoring for launches is part of the job. But what about sorting out the Big Bang Theory, detecting cosmic rays,